Good day. It's another Wednesday for the Let Us Talk It Zipinar. So there are two new topics with two wonderful speakers with us today, and it's exciting as always. Thank you so much for joining us. We are live via Facebook and YouTube as well. So please send us some suggestions or anyone who would like to speak. Visit our webinar website, which is letustalkit.com. And for today, the first topic would be networking for global opportunities, which is that the world has since been flat, but you cannot just connect anyone because they are visible. You must be intentional about networking to be able to make connections of contacts. So here, founder of Growth Hive Consulting, Olatunji Bialongi, will be delivering this topic for us. He is a growth activator, business growth hacker, author, keynote speaker, and startup founder. His speaking engagements are on personal development, business development, and nation building. A selfless leader, extraordinaire, he always puts others first. And here to deliver the topic with us, please take over, Olatunji.
Yeah, I want Shweta to go. Is she not going? Let her go first, please. Yeah.
You want to
Thank you,
switch?
Olatunji.
You said?
You want to switch places with the second topic for today?
Yeah,
Yeah, he
I'll
has
go
been.
after her. Yeah, let her go first.
No, he's just being nice. Thank you, Olatunji. Thank you so much.
That's
God
what I
bless
was
you.
trying to say. He is just being so polite gentleman here. Thank you.
Okay, well, definitely let me introduce the topic for so this is a great thing. This never happened, but definitely we'll allow it. So the second topic, ladies first, we'll do the performance mapping in public life, which is social enterprises, SDG goals, and not-for-profits all need to be evaluated on performance. So current best practices of the matrix that influence policy and maps impact. To deliver this topic is Shweta Shalini, which is a passionate politician and entrepreneur, and also a social visionary who has gained prominent position in society due to her exemplary work. With her dynamic leadership, she has brought about much desired social reforms through initiatives to empower individuals to become the backbone of an enterprising India. Here to deliver the topic, Shweta. Go ahead, please.
Thank you,
You're
Phil John, and thank you, Olatunji. Let me start without wasting enough time of everybody here. I think the topic is extremely important because performance is very important. And after all, we all are here in this world, serving this life for humanity and for the betterment of the humanity. Now, we have talked a lot about bettering humanity, but how do you better humanity? Can you map it? And why is mapping so important? And that's the reason why I have come up with this topic, this matrix, and this whole concept and this vision of performance in public life. Now, when I talk about public life, what is it that I have done? And I think Phil has really introduced this to quite an extent. But let me clarify it to the last T, because when I talk of myself being a passionate politician, what does that mean? Now, in India, when you say that you are a politician, people do not consider that you could be educated. I break all myths, and I also break a lot of glass barriers because I am a mechanical engineer. I did my master's in business administration. I have worked in a multinational company for about 8 long years. And post that, I set up my first venture and carried forward as a serial entrepreneur because I started about 4 ventures. The largest venture of mine is about 4,500 people worldwide, with about 1,500 people based out of India. The second venture, I exited to one of the big 4 consulting firms of the world. The third venture is primarily on education. And the fourth venture is to help people, mentor people to set up their own enterprises, their own startups. So one, I did my learning, and then I decided to pass on these learnings to other people. Second, when I realized that it is important for me and my calling to go and create what I called an impact, I realized that it was very important for me to start from my strengths. And that's one of the reasons why I picked up the SDG goals of the United Nations. The United Nations clarifies about and gives us a goal of about 17 SDG goals. Now, I picked up few which was very, very close to my heart. So if I talk about SDG 5, which is gender equality, I've worked on gender equality, but I've also equally worked hard on livelihood vision. And also, I worked extremely hard to ensure that sanitation gets delivered in India. Now, having thought about that, it was very important for me to put that into practice. And hence, what I did was, as soon as I came and became an active part of the ruling party as a politician, I started different initiatives. One of the biggest initiatives that I did was something called as Village Social Transformation Mission. Now, in this, we categorically identified the needs of the people and mapped it to the various schemes that the government comes out with, and mapped it to the various stakeholders of present in the society. So there are various stakeholders in the society, including the society itself, including the community itself. So there are lawyer community, doctor community, there is a large teachers community which is present in the society. Now, these people can contribute. People want to make a change to other people's life, but there are only few people who know how. And that's why performance is very important, because when I need to tell some other person, how do you make an impact? It is also very important for me to actually tell him from where to where, in which direction he needs to go to ensure that that impact is created. Also, I need to tell him where the need gap is and how much is the gap, so that with an addition of an X amount, that gap can be filled. Now, that X amount can be your skill set, that can be your time, that can be money, that can be resources, anything. But what's most important is to first and foremost have the data for it. And hence, I started with an app which collected each and every data in the parameters of the need of the society. I adopted about 1,000 odd villages. In those 1,000 villages, we picked up every parameter that gets affected by 17 SDG goals and took the current level in the society of that parameter. So, for example, we realized that in certain places in India, and especially in rural areas, water did not go to every household. And that's when SDG goals says that water is a right to every household, it means drinking water, it means water to wash your utensils, to take a bath, and last but not the least, it is water available for agriculture. And that's where we started focusing and saying that for these three things, if I need to map water and take water to every household, what is it that I need to do? And that ensured that I actually made an app, but also made statistics, data around how much I had to contribute. When I put it in front of people in form of a dashboard saying these are the gaps where we need to fill, guess what? The world came over. Corporates came over. In stakeholder community, there was a large community of corporate social responsibility takers. All of them jumped in to say, oh, I have the skill set and I am going to pitch in within this gap, because I told them that this is the gap. So one of the biggest learnings that I've had is dashboarding is extremely important. It is important for you to know your house, your whys, but it's also important for you to know your whats. What is the number right now? What is the number that you're aiming at? And what does it take to take that leap, the leap of faith? In a very similar manner, I moved on, created a youth organization where we realized that youth need spiritually, emotionally, physically, and most importantly, commercially, a lot of hand holding, but they also need a lot of counseling. So, sectorally, we split the number of people, especially after a huge pandemic. We realize that the next pandemic that is going to hit all of us is going to be the mental pandemic. And hence, we split the youth wing, or the youth sector, the segment of youth, into various verticals. And there was a team that started tackling emotional methodology, the entire set of youth. In a very similar manner, we started working on their livelihoods. We started helping them out commercially so that they can become entrepreneurs. And hence came various programs like Make in India, Skill in India, identifying where is the skill gap and hence filling in the skill gap, etc., etc. A lot of people find that in public life, one of the most important things is issue mapping. But I firmly believe that issue mapping is also related to your performance mapping. Until you realize how you are going to perform in a particular manner, you cannot mark out or take out an issue out of the need of the society to ensure to fill in that gap. Now, for example, a complete emotional issue is the happiness index. When I started my work, I realized that there is a whole survey that is done by 3 consulting firms across the globe that take care of happinesses across various countries. And that's when I started doing a lot of study and realized that India falls very low in happiness indexes. When I started studying the methodology, I realized that the surveys are wrong. I must admit that most of the surveys that were done had extremely few samples taken, and hence the results were wrong. But also it started giving us an indication of how psychologically, when an Indian is asked whether you are happy in your life, he is trained not to say yes. And that's where the problem actually started. So when we start mapping this, where does your matrix start? When you start identifying an issue, I identified the issue of happiness because it came from mental health. Now, the issue of happiness, it is important for me to map my performance according to what program I come out with. And the most important thing is to projectify, to create a program around what you want to do. What is it that you can drive on the table? What is it that you can bring on the table? And what is the impact or the outcome of this project has to be figured out first. And that is what I called performance mapping. Last but not the least, I think let's talk about politicians. Politicians across the globe understand that there needs to be what we call in democracy an election. And hence, every 5 years, you go back on the table where you need to convince the people who supported you to win the first time that they should support you back again. Now, in a democracy, it is important for you to create a manifesto. And hence, when you create a manifesto, you're basically creating promises. But these promises need to be mapped. So I took up a dashboarding of how you can create a performance mapping matrix for politicians. Because when I come to power for the 5 years, there are a set of people who have actually pushed me on power. They have given me the responsibility for me to sit on a particular chair. I am accountable to them. And hence, For me, it is important that I map down each and every promise that I have made to my own people, and then map it according to a time interval to say that this is the time that I will take to fulfill this promise. So, what I do for politicians across the globe, be it in Africa, be it in Australia, I've worked with almost everybody. I have a large team that helps people to identify what are the promises that politicians are keeping, how much is it left, and what is it that can be driven to ensure that politicians do keep in their promises. And that's how we also rate different politicians in public life to ensure that their performance mapping is done. Last but not the least, I also want to talk about social enterprises. Now, not for profit organizations. I firmly believe that when you are giving, and the world says that there is joy in giving, but my personal thought process is that when you are giving, I automatically take the power of strength, because when I give, I am actually telling to the person that I give to that I am a have and you're a have not. And that's the reason why if I have money, I will give you money. If I have time, I will give you time. If I have a skill set, I will give you a skill set. And hence, there is always this power discentricity that is created between the two, one that is giving and the other one which is taking. And hence, I do not believe in what we call as not-for-profits, because I firmly believe that not-for-profits should also run for profit, but that profit needs to be distributed equally among the stakeholders. And that is what a social enterprise is, because a social enterprise actually empowers everybody in the supply chain. And that's the reason why it is very important that any win-win relationship will happen only when performance is maintained. And hence, how are social enterprises thought of? How are they ideated? How do you raise money for them? And last but not the least, how do you implement them? So today I support in the various incubators that I support a lot of social enterprises. They could be in the fintech sector, they could be in the health sector, they could be in the capacity building or the skill building center. And last but not the least, they can be specialized for women, because women is a 50% of India's population and any country's population. And it is important that we concentrate on women to ensure that an equality of livelihood, an equality of opportunity is maintained in the country. And that's the reason why I feel social enterprises needs to be mapped for the most needed thing in the society today, can be used as a need, can be picked up as a need, as an issue, or can be picked up as an idea for a product or services that can be provided to that sector, and to ensure that that idea can be converted into a social enterprises. I have various social enterprises that I have spotted to ensure that we can raise money for them, we can ensure that we can implement them and give them the scale that they offer, so that the money of the investors grow. And that's how we can not only correlate the social enterprise to its impact, but also the outcome that the impact creates in the lives of the people that it impacts. And hence, I firmly reiterate that performance is critical. It is important for you to create a dashboard of your life and stick to it. Whatever you want to do, stick to a dashboard. I'm a to-do person, and everyone talks about journaling today. Before I end, I would just want to say this, that in my own personal life, I do journal. When I get up in the morning, I create a to-do list. When I sleep every single day, I tick mark in the to-do list that I have. But for my whole life, I have created a life book of what I want to do with my own life, because I'm a follower of Swami Vivekananda ji. And Swami Vivekananda always said this, that Every life is a purpose, and we need to figure out, I was sent to this world for this larger purpose. And maybe if I can wake one person up, my day is made. But my life is going to be made only when I am ready to solve that purpose that I came for. Thank you so much.
Yes. Sorry, Phil John, I'm interjecting. Yeah, Shweta, it is so powerful. I mean, it's excellent. I mean, each sentence you spoke meant a lot. And especially, yeah, you touched on various aspects, of the public life, youth, and, social enterprises and the United Nations goals and all. So just from the to-dos point of view and the next action items, let's say there are some NGOs in India or USA, a non-profit organization in USA, where we want to ask your help to create this whole, performance metrics and, trying to guide. Is it something that you would like to take up?
Oh, absolutely. I work with I mentor a lot of people. In fact, I sit on advisory boards of various NGOs, a lot of social enterprises. I'll definitely be open to it, Srini. Please do call me. Phil has my
Okay.
number.
Yes, and also we also in the LetUsTalkIt ecosystem, we started something called a happiness project. So right now
Yes.
that ambassador is not in the forum right now, but I will set up a meeting with that happiness team as
Absolutely.
well. You mentioned about that.
Absolutely.
I
Yes.
think there are a lot of synergies. I think, we definitely look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
I mean, yeah, that's a very needed thing that is needed that's very relevant to the society. So because many
Thank you,
people
Srini.
take birth and they log in and they log out in the life, but yeah, what is the impact they're leaving, and how it we can create a nice framework so that people don't need to reinvent the basics, and the society can have a strong
So,
foundation in
so
terms of.
Srini, fortunately, I have a framework ready, and for individuals, for enterprises, for not-for-profit organizations, I work on that framework. But obviously, I give one-to-one classes. I also bring it on as an advisory on the table. So I just gave an open kind of a discussion today. It's the start of the relationship. I'm sure that if there's anybody who would want to, come forward, I'm very, very happy to help. Extremely happy to help.
Great. Yeah, that's all from my end. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Olatunji. Thanks for this opportunity, and thank you for that compliment. I saw that in the chat window.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Would like to anyone would like to unmute or share their insight, interact with the speaker? We have three attendees here. Satya mentioned amazing talk and great way to summarize the end. Thank you, Satya. And how about from other, let's see, Indrani and Bulam, would you like to introduce yourself or leave your thoughts? I guess that's a no. Well, thank you so much. The topic is really great and well explained. Thank you so much, Shweta. And so I'll for those who would like to get in touch with Shweta, you can send her message on LinkedIn. She's very responsive. Also, if you wish to get her contact information, you can connect with the Let Us Talk It team, so we can connect you to her through WhatsApp. All right, that's perfect. Well, thank you so much. And we are a few minutes early, but definitely it is worth it. And we will go to the next topic for today, for the next speaker. I believe I have introduced him earlier, and I will let him introduce himself with this topic that he will be giving us. So you can now take over, Olatunji, to talk about networking for global opportunities.
Thank you so much. I do appreciate this privilege. It's a very good one. Thank you, Shweta, for taking my place to go first. Since you're going to be talking, or you talked about gender equality, so that was needed. So yeah, it doesn't matter who goes first. We are all equal, right? Yeah, that's good. Thank you, Phil John, for this opportunity, and I want to say thank you to everybody for being here and making this talk. This let us talk it and do it a working project. It's a privilege to be being here. I'm here because of the power of network. I'm here because of the strength and the quality of network. It's a global platform, obviously, and this happened because of understanding the power of network. A lot of people communicate, but few connect. That's in the words of John C. Maxwell. But I now realize that in our present world, the reality is that we've got so much contacts, right? When you go through people's phone book, you see a lot of contacts. People can tell you, I have the contact of this. People can even, brag about contacts, but there are no connections. Until there are connections before, things begin to work, and that's network. Yeah, I say it every time. I'm a spiritual etymologist. I know the root of words. I know where they come from. So when I see words, I open them up. Let's quickly do that with network. Look at the word network. I see nets and I see work. Network is having a net that is working. It's not just sufficient that you have a network. Is it working? And when it's working, that's when you become relevant for global opportunities. How have you, created your network? How did you come about your network? Is it because of what you want to get from people, or because of the value you want to give to people? And I'll also open up the word global. When you look at the word global, you see two words coming together to give us global. The first word is glow, and the second word is balance. For you to go global, you have to be shining, and you must have a good sense of balance. Now, what is this balance? Where is this balance coming from? You must respect people because they are people. You must be able to stay, as a middle ground for extremities if you want to be able to network on a global level. There are places you will go to that you need to adapt. There are some places you go to, you need to adopt. And there are some places that, your adeptness is going to be your skill. It's going to be your strength to be able to get things done. Sometimes you just like their food and you eat their food. Sometimes you make them know that, oh, they can cook it in a better way, for you to eat it. Sometimes it's their policy. Sometimes it's their way of life. Sometimes, it's the way they see things, their perspective. So it's your responsibility to know when to adapt and when to adopt. All of these come in for balance. When you do not have this global mindset, the glowing means shining. You are valuable. You are bringing value. You are not beggarly. You are not to be pitied. It doesn't matter where you are coming from. When you want to go global, you have to be glowing. You have to be such that your value, value is not sentimental. Value is not biased. Value is not a racist. Wherever you go with value, it's going to be accepted. So when you are going in that shining, convoy, you need to have a sense of balance. The sense of balance. So let me take balance in another perspective too. Look at it like a balance where we have fulcrum at the middle, and that fulcrum is your attitude. I say it every time that there is a place that is higher than any altitude, and that is attitude. What attitude have you got? What attitude do you have in relating with people? What attitude do you have in doing whatever you're asked to do? What attitude do you have? That attitude is higher at any point in time than your altitude. And you have aptitude too. No matter what you are doing at the moment, it's supposed to be a tool for you to reach balance with the world. It's supposed to be a tool for you to reach balance with everything around you. Networking is now the 21st century job description that everybody must have. That's why I'm here today. How do you position yourself? How do people see you when they see you? What do they see about you? Now, what they see about you, that's now, under the glow of the global. That's glowing. That's, under, branding, personal branding, and all of it like that. But we will not have so much time to go into that. I just quickly want to talk about networking. Now, every network, like I said, a network is a net that is working. Your network does not translate to your net worth without you doing the work. There is a work that you must do. There is a work that must be done to translate whatever you have gathered as a network to come for you in value of whatever you want to put it, whatever capital you want to translate it into. There must be a work to be done. Now, every net has sense, every net has size, and every net has strength. You need to pay attention to this. If you want to catch a golden fish, the sense of your net must be that you go to a golden river with your golden net. Every net has sense. Where do you want to go to? Where do you want to get people from? Where do you want to, get your network from? Where do you want to build your network around? That's where you should go. And sometimes how to go to places is not by flying planes. It's by positioning yourself as attractive as possible to the audience you want. Wherever you are, yeah, we say it. The world is global now, and it's so flat that the worlds are down. But yet, everybody sees everybody, but not everybody gets connected to everybody. So you need a sense. You need a sense. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Who do you want to meet? You shouldn't go to a party where you don't want to be associated with anybody. So there must be a sense, and there must be a size. Now, what's the size of the fishes you want to catch? What's the size of what you want to get into your net? If you are going for big fishes, then you should go with very big nets. Else, you are going to lose your net and lose your cash. So what's the strength of this net? The strength of this net is your attitude. The strength of this net is your behavior. The strength of this net is the way you carry yourself and your response to life. Sometimes, some of us, we've got very great opportunities to have the big nets, and we are now very close to a big river. Big fishes are waiting for us. But because of the wrong attitude, we catch the fish, and by ourselves, we still throw them out. Now, pay attention. Remember, I talked about balance. You can't go global when you don't have a very deep sense, an intentional sense of balance. You must understand that, okay, this is
I can't hear anything. Phil, are you able to?
No. Wait. Let me check. I'll send him a message. Hear you. Might be a connection error. Oh, here. He's back.
Maybe. Oh, he's back. Okay.
Hi, Latunji.
I'm back. Sorry. I'm back.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, I lost the network.
Yeah.
I'm back. Yeah. Okay, now this is it. Opportunities. I call there's something I call opportunity intelligence. And opportunity intelligence is you being the right person at the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. Now, this would give us what I call the factors of opportunity. Now, what are these factors of opportunity? The first thing is person. Are you the person we are looking for? The second thing is place. Are you at the right place? And the third thing is time. Is it at the right time? And the fourth thing is thing. Are you doing the right thing? Now, if these four do not align, you would not be fit for any opportunity at any point in time, global or local. You must have a sense of being the right person at the right place, at the right time, doing the right thing. Now, who is that person? You. What is that thing? Whatever you've got as your aptitude, whatever you've got, as work to do, whatever you have got is that thing. And you have to, pay attention. Good for you in your time zone, but it's not good for them in their time zone. Balance. Pay attention to time. Seasons. With respect to people, play and place, balance. So because these are becoming very important because we are in the generation of networking. Everybody now have networking as their job description. And social media has made it so interesting today that you are not a citizen of a place, you are a citizen of every place. So when you meet people, what gives you the connection? The right person, the right place, the right time, doing the right thing. We are all going to meet people, but we are not all going to stay with some people. Not because we are not liked, not because we are not, welcomed, but we are probably not the right person. Or it may be that you went there at the wrong time. Or you went there at the right time as the right person, but you're doing the wrong thing. So there must be a match of these factors of opportunity. Now, you know what it means to network. Networking is having a net that is working. You don't just translate your network to net worth without you doing the work. And global, glow and be balanced in your glowing. While I leave us, I will just quickly run through top 10 notes about networking. These are tested, facts. I've experienced them in my life. I have used them over and over, made them available to people, and they are truth that you can hold. The first thing is, when it comes to building network, especially for global opportunity, pay attention to this. Only the top 10 matters anywhere in the world. Always put this at the back of your mind. Only the top 10 matters anywhere in the world. World is a combination of different top 10 from different places in the world. Now look at nets, right? The net of network. An anagram of the word net gives us 10. Get that into your mind. Whatever you're doing, do it as if you've got a spot in the top 10 wherever you are in the world. Because the world of today is a combination of top 10s around the world. And the second thing, that you need to take note of is always strive to be among the top 10. I think I already talked about that. Always strive to be among the top 10. If you're not on the top 10 list, then forget it. You are not your mentors. Let your your role models, let your watchword be the one that will put you in the top 10. The third thing now is your network is not just your network without your network. I already talked about that. So I just want you to have this, in case you want to have a top 10, from Let Us Talk It and do it for networking. So the fourth one is work without the nets is a setup. You are actually a fish in someone else's net. When you are working, you've got so much sense for work, and you do not have the attitude for building network. You're actually a fish in someone else's net. We at one point or the other, we are going to find ourselves as a fish in a network. But it becomes very unfortunate when you yourself do not have any net at all because of bad attitude. When you do not have, a balanced attitude, you're unable to have a net that is working. It's a global world. Get ready. So if you are very hardworking and you've got no nets, you are actually a fish in someone else's nets. Now, the fifth thing is a simple hello can save you from hell, and it can also take you to hell. So mind the way you say hello, to who, when, and how. The sixth one is if what you know is not sufficient, then know who you should know. The distance between point A and B is not covered by vehicles, but by people. The distance between a place and the other in life, in geography, is equal to a person that you need to meet. So if what you know is not sufficient, why not meet who you should know? And the seventh thing you need to notice, the opposite of network is not working. The opposite of network is not working. When it's not working, it's not a network. Network must work. Network must yield because it's people, and everybody is fertile. Everybody is, a sterile, a virile seed, so to say, that must yield. We may have different capacity of yield, but we must yield. So if it's not yielding, if it's not working, it's not network. The eighth one is think about networking as a farmer, not as a hunter. Plant it, don't just look for it to hunt. Plant it, don't just look for it to hunt. And the ninth one, very quickly, is networking is not how many people you know, but how many people know you. How many people know you for what you do? How many people know you for who you are? How many people can say, hey, go to that guy, get this from him? The 10th one is how many credible people can you introduce to other people? That is the strength of your network. These are the top 10 notes about networking that will win for you anywhere in the world. Don't forget that to go global, there is glowing, that's shining, that's value, and there is balance. Understanding the difference with respect to place, time, and people. An opportunity means you must be able to be the right person at the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. It's time for networking, and on a global scale. If you can't do it, there's somebody who can do it. Be emotionally intelligent enough to find the person. You may start your network that way. It's a nice time to be here. And I want to say thank you so much for everybody your time, and the privilege of networking again. This is a testimony to the power of networking for global opportunity. Phil John, thank you.
Thank you so much, Olutunji. That was a great topic that you have discussed there, and then the actual definitions, the use of words is really great. It will really help remember those terms you have given to us. So yeah, that nails it. Great time to be born by Shweta. So that was a thank you. That's the word. Now, we are open for questions. If you should share your insights, talk to the speaker, you can do it on chat. You can put it in Q&A, or you can open your mic. And please feel free to do so. Yes, Harry.
Hi, that was a very interesting presentation. I appreciate. Yep, thank you very much for your inputs. I really like the statement that you made. We see everybody, right, and we hardly connect with them. That's a true statement. Uh, Seeing, knowing is not the great thing. Plenty of people we see every day. We know every day, but we don't really connect with them. That relationship or knowing each other, creating that environment to talk or connect at an emotional level won't happen with many of the friends, relatives, colleagues, acquaintances, neighbors that we see day to day. So that's a true statement that you made. We all have to think about it. Yep. Thank you very much.
I think Latunji will have to reply a little late for that, Harry, because he might have some network issue.
That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, Indrani, you raised your hand. Hold on. Let us check with our speaker. Yeah, you are still with us, Latunji.
Yes. Uh, First of all, I want to thank you. This is really insightful. The presentation is, and I have a problem that I can connect to the network very easily. And as he said that I can show my skills in front of them, that who I am and for what purpose I can help them, like that. That means I can attract them very easily, anyone, any stranger. But the problem with me is I can't spend much time if there is a necessary, unless if there is a necessary topic. So how to manage these skills? This is my question. Hope my question is clear.
Yeah, would you like to address that, Olatunji?
Yeah, very clear. That's a good one. The strength of everyone is knowing your weakness. You need to pay attention to it. We have different capacity at every point. Some people are the initiator, they are the activator, but they may not be able to, retain people. So you must understand that, okay, if that's the thing in the world, is knowing how to create system to manage your weakness. Now, if you are such that you can't keep up with people for long, especially when you have stuff like maybe they're becoming unnecessary and all of it like that, you must know how to create communities. In a community, everybody is not needed to be listened to every day. It's once in a time when they are needed that they will talk. You can't keep them every day as if, hey, everybody should talk every day. Sometimes some people may not even talk in a whole year. Some people may not even come close in a whole year. But you have that connection that everybody can easily say, hi, how are you doing? Oh, I've got something to say. Oh, this. So it's not that you need them to talk every day. It's not that you need to hear from them every day, but there is a lifeline that can be easily followed for whatever you want to do. So how do you do this? Keep them close. Keep them close. Keep them close. So how do you keep them close? Once in a while, hey, how you doing? You move, but know your strengths and don't cheat yourself. Don't Don't try to be who you are not. So keep doing what you can do. You can, spike up conversation. You can easily initiate, networking and all of it like that. If it's for the purpose of business or whatever it is, find a partner. Find somebody who can do the other part of it. Somebody who can sustain. But if that is not, something you just want to do, if it's just for personal life and all of it like that, just create a system. Get people on the know. Let them be okay. Let's say, for instance, now as I round off, let me just say, maybe there's a seasonal greeting, right, that you can give them once in a while, just to let them know that, hey, you still want to hear from them anytime. You understand? There's a way you can build relationship that way. Some people will respond to the greetings, some will not respond. Like a general shout out, like, hey, how you doing today? Like everybody just have that time, that you do such. So those that respond, that you can build with them. Those that don't respond, one day they will. One day, it will be easy for them to reach out to you. So just stay on your strengths and be good.
Thank you so much, Oji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that question, Indrani. And yeah, from Srini, another insightful session. Anyone else would like to ask? Okay, and I guess a wonderful message has been delivered. Thank you so much, really, speakers. Sweta has to leave for important matters, and Latunji, really appreciate the effort and the knowledge you have shared with us today through your experience. It's really wonderful. Now, if you wish to have the recorded copy of this video, this is uploaded via YouTube. You can just search the page Let Us Talk It. And for the viewers out there, if you want to message Ulatunji, you can just message him, type his name on LinkedIn, and he is also very responsive. If you wish to collaborate with him, send the Let Us Talk It team a message so we can connect you through with him. Well, another wonderful topics, a great session for today. Thank you so much. And we wish to see you again next Wednesday, the same time. That's 12 noon to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you just convert it to any other time zone. Like our first speaker was from India and the second was from Nigeria. And we wish to conquer the world and create an informed community. See you again next Wednesday, and all the best. You take care.
Great. Thank you all. Take care.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Take care.
Yola Tunji. Take care.